like you. Be strong to hold.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Olashibumi Ojo. It feels really good to be on my seat. If you're a new subscriber or a new viewer, please, when you watch what you have to watch today, if you find it really interesting, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and be a part and a member of this growing family. And if you're already a subscriber, you know you have a place in my heart. Okay? All right. It's funny how I'm twinning with my Christmas tree, but then that's to tell you that I'm in the Christmas mood. Well. I'm sure that you must have seen the video about my graduation prep. Now a girl is out of school. Glory be to God. I'm so happy and excited. And that's why I'm filming this video based on my personal experience. Okay. All right. So today's video, I'm going to be talking about transitioning from being a 9-to-5 worker or a corporate life person to being a student again. You heard me right. So if you're interested in that kind of content, please sit back, relax, and let us enjoy today's video together. By the way, I'm on my favorite color. It feels good. Please, let's just move on. Let's move on and not waste time in today's video. I'll catch you in the next slide. Basically, I'm filming this video because I know that January is just around the corner, or maybe this video will be posted in January. So I know that January is really close, and then I know January is a major time that people get to travel to go to school. People also get to travel by May, and some people get to travel by September to resume their universities. However, I find that majority of the people that I was in class with when I was a student, they were either entrepreneurs or people who were working for the government or private sectors who were really into what they were doing when they were still back in their own country. But circumstances, situations, and personal interest has made a couple of people decide to make that move, which they've made. Now, I'm going to be talking from my own personal experiences because I was so much in love with my job as a customer service personnel, and as an administrative personnel when I was back in my own country. I loved that job. I love the fact that I get to meet with people every day. I love the fact that I get to provide solutions to their pension problems. Then it was so interesting for me as a job. And I also got to work with young minds, and I also got to work with older people, which I never thought that I could. But when I got into that sector, I actually bended and I blended. I bended and I blended, and it was interesting. But if you leave that kind of job and you want to relocate or pursue your academic endeavor, there will be days and times when some things will just come to you, and you will be wondering, how did you manage this transitioning? So for me, I had days that I would just remember my colleagues, their behavior, their characters, their peculiarities and everything, and I would just smile. And sometimes it will feel like, oh, I wish I could just go to this particular colleague and give them a hug, maybe based on how they've helped me, or based on how they did one thing for me or the other, or based on our work relationship. There were days like that. There were also days that I will remember the salary I was getting, the travel allowances if we have to travel, the pension that was being remitted on my behalf into my pension account, and also how I get to contribute towards that. There were days that I will remember, oh, I used to get meal allowance for the month from my employer. So those things, they were interesting for me to remember. And sometimes, don't forget, as a student here, you can't work more than 20 hours. Because if you work more than 20 hours and the government grabs you, like they grab you like this, you have to face, there are consequences for that, and they are not so nice. So that tends to leave you at a stage of, you might not really be financially buoyant as you want to when you're still a student. So you might have to be depending on your dependents sometimes. And of course, the number of hours you work for, when you're paid, you just use it to do one or two things, but it might still not be enough to do what you want to use it for, except for if you have a long holiday and you're free to work out of your 20 hours limits. So at those periods, when you remember those allowances you used to get, you might feel like, why did I even come to this university at this time? But not for that now, but for the future, like someone close to me will say. So that was another thing. There were days that I would just remember how I used to dress corporately. Okay, now look at me. I have a face cap on. I have a jumper. And on a normal day, I am a person to wear my full corporate wears to work. So sometimes you just remember your appearances when you were doing your 9 to 5, and you compare it with your current appearance, and you get to think, why am I doing this? There were days like that for me. And there were also days when I remembered I didn't have to read like, oh, I'm reading because of my academic pursuits. Of course, when I was working, I was studying for things that would improve me at my job, informations that were necessary to read, but not reading and studying to, get a certificate. You know what I mean? So there were days like that. Now, how did I manage to transition from those days and get myself to jump out of that situation and just move on? I'll share that tip in the next slide. So basically, what helped me to transition well is my community, my loved one, my former boss, my colleagues at school. So your community is key. And another thing that will help you transition well is you personally, your personal conviction. Oh, have I come to this university to be a failure? No. Have I come to this to pursue this master's or whatever thing you're trying to pursue? Have I come to pursue it and then continue to wallow in my whole life? No. So you really need to talk yourself out and think, and also focus on, oh, how can I do things better to make me transition well? Because it's very, very important. So you have your community, you have yourself, and you have the future to think about. So that alone will help you channel all of your strength. Instead of channeling it back to the things of the hold, it will help you channel it into the things of the future. And trust me, it helps, because it helped me. This is talking from someone who has been there, who is out of there, who is now focused on something else by God's grace. So yeah, that's just what I have to say. This is more like an advice video, more like sharing my own experience video. I hope it helps one person or the other out there. So with that, I've come to the end of today's video. I'll catch you guys later. Stay blessed, enjoy yourselves, and be good.
Like you, be strong to hold the powers of the sun.